Welcome back to another video. Glad to see you all that you're watching. This video is I'm gonna first tell you my scent of the day, what I've been wearing lately, give you some updates on how I'm, liking certain newly discovered fragrances. Because sometimes, when I wear them and then it kind of changes. First time I like it, second time I'm not so sure, and then I go back and then I kind of form my opinion and decide if I think it's full bottle worthy or if I should, just even pass the decant or sample on to someone else. But and then I'm going to share with you a little bit of something that happened the other day. I'll get to that I have the need to vent about, and that's something that kind of actually really pisses me off. But first, the scent of the day. This morning I put on, I have a new decant of Après, which means after the rain. It's from Guerlain. It's one of their classic fragrances. It came out for the first time in 1906. This, however, is a decant from a bottle that was bought in 2020. So I guess the most recent formulation. And but I have listened to Soleil's talk about this one and how it compares to the formulation right before that came in the bottle, like a more cylinder type bottle that has bees on it. And this one has that different shape of bottle. Now they're Guerlain is doing that thing where all the bottles are the same rather than that they, launch a special bottle with each fragrance. And it's probably, for money reasons. And I don't mind that kind of development because for me, the bottle is secondary. And I don't mind having bottles, if they're from the same house, that they look the same, that the shape is the same. Maybe the juice is a little bit different. But this one, I'll have to say is a little bit of a disappointment to me. It's one of those fragrances that are, oh, this is beautiful. And then I'm just like, and it doesn't intrigue me. It doesn't really give me anything. And it really does smell natural. It's kind of an orange blossom, iris type of fragrance with violet. And then it has, let's see. I'm not 100% sure if this is the EDT or the EDP, but I think that they might be quite similar. But this one has anise, and I had to look up the pronunciation of anise because a lot of people say anise, and that is kind of more the French pronunciation. And I guess there are, parts of the United States where, like Louisiana, where there are more French people that came and they might say anise, whatever. I'm going to say anise. This one also has mimosa. It has carnation, ylang ylang, heliotrope, vanilla musk, styrax amber, etc. And some citruses and neroli on the top. And when I saw this thing with anise, I thought, I wonder how it compares to Fatal Charme by Xerjoff. Because I really have been enjoying this lately. Thank you, Julia, for the decant. So happy to have that. That might actually, when I'm finished with this, I might go full bottle on that. I'm hoping actually to be able to swap my 400, from the same collection, maybe for a bottle of this. Because 400, it didn't quite work out for me. It has something bitter in there that I don't love, but I'm still working on it. The funny thing is I went through a whole sample of that 400 and I absolutely loved it. And then when I got the bottle, I'm like, is this the same fragrance? I don't know. So maybe it just needs to stand a little bit. When air starts getting into the bottle, maybe the fragrance will slightly change. But this one, they are not the same. They are not the same. But they both have like this irisy combination with anise. And then I think Après, what's happened with this formulation compared to the older one, at least according to Soleil, is that they have amped up the violet a little bit and toned down, I think he said, the orange blossom and iris, but I can't remember exactly. It's just a super easy wear, but really boring. I just have to there's nothing wrong with it. There's just it's kind of intimate. It has weak sillage. It's like I couldn't even smell it. I just sprayed it like 20 minutes ago. I was having breakfast. There wasn't anything coming my way. When I smelled it like this, though, I could really smell it. So it's very, it's the sillage is very weak or short. You say short sillage? So I would never buy this. I would never wear this. I can't, waste my time on fragrances that are barely there. But it does smell like the name says, after the rain, like a spring day, maybe an early day, early summer after the rain, and it kind of like the floor. It's very fresh and floral. And I think that it would be, a nice gift for someone who doesn't wear perfume that often, maybe. very natural smelling. Actually, what comes to mind is this fragrance I have from Shelley Waddington's En Voyage perfumes that's called Lorelei, which smells super natural. Let's see if I wrote down anything else. 350 people say it's similar to L'Heure Bleue, if you're familiar with that Guerlain fragrance. So I guess it's very Guerlain-esque. I'm not super familiar with Guerlain fragrances. I know Shalimar now, and that's a completely different type of fragrance. This one, it just, nope, don't, I'm not going to spend more time with this. And this one just has so much more to offer. Fatal Charme, JT's Join the Club collection. It just, when you wear it, you feel all wrapped up in it. And it has a little bit of a vanillic base. It has a little bit of tobacco, maybe tobacco flower. It just has so much more going on than Après L'Ondée. But maybe, you know, the inspiration came from there. I don't know. But I think they did a better job. And this is much more my style. Harvest Mouse, I have been continuing to use. And I'm actually enjoying this, even though I'm not a vanilla girl. I think this is, maybe it's the saffron note in here. But I'm not even sure if it's listed. There's something in here that has kept me going. And I really am enjoying this Harvest Mouse from Zoologist. Then I've also tried a fragrance a couple times. I've just sprayed my inner elbow. It's called, let's see if I can say this right, Fils de Dieu. It means, anyway, I'm not quite sure I'm saying that right, but it means the son of God. And then it has like a long name, Du riz des agrumes. From Etat Libre. It's a French house, kind of an artsy type of, they have a conceptual kind of profile. And I just realized I think this is not a house for me. I have two fragrances from the house. It's True Lust and it is Bijou Romantique. And I like these fragrances, but they're not like 10 out of 10s in any way. And neither is this. And I've decided I'm not going to even finish this little drop. I'm going to pass it on to someone who wants to finish it. This is just very mixed feelings. Those are the notes that I had on this one. It has a little bit of, it does have a rice, du riz. It has rice in the name, in the longer name, and then it has the shorter name that's just like Son of God, which I really think is, you know, overdoing it. But it has lime, ginger flower, coriander, and shiso. It's really weird. It's a clash of notes, and then it has like rice, coconut, cardamom, cinnamon, jasmine, and rose in the mid. And in the bottom, it has like leather, castoreum, tonka, musk, amber, and vetiver. It's like, it's really strange to my nose. The lime with these sweet baking spices, and then the creaminess. I mean, I guess some people get like a steamed rice, like an Asian type of, maybe even like a curry from this. Maybe it does have a rice note. I don't like it. I just don't. It's not good. And I find this, I think their fragrances are quite mediocre. And I mean, their prices are quite affordable. It's kind of like mid-range niche. I'm just not impressed with, I like the stories and the names and kind of like reading about them more than I like the actual fragrances. Like they have one that smells like popcorn and they have one that smells like, you know, gunpowder. Well, that might actually be the same one. I can't remember. There's one that smells like, you know, pumpkin pie, whatever. I don't know. I do like my True Lust though. It's a good fragrance. It has a little bit of leather. It has a little bit of coconut, florals. It has a little bit of booziness. There's rum in there. It's a really nice, easy wear, but I do seldom wear it. I might pass it on. And then Bijou Romantique is more of a heliotrope type fragrance with like an ambery. It's vanilla. It has amber and it has like heliotrope vibe to. I mean, I like it. I just don't maybe love it. Anyway, okay, so this video is kind of a need to discuss something that I feel very strongly about. And you know that I've been ranting about Ramsey and how great his channel is. And I mean, he's incredible when it comes to like having knowledge, deep knowledge about perfume and history and, you know, what perfumer did what and kind of comparing them to each other. But he's also said that one of the main reasons why he started his channel was that he was sick of all the BS in the YouTube community and how all these influencers got free bottles and you couldn't trust what they were saying and all this. And I just admired him for this. And the same goes for Rich Mitch. He has the same opinion as I do. But now Ramsey's channel is getting a little bigger, you know, and I find that the people who follow him very much agree with what he says. He doesn't often get people that, you know, question what he has to say or, you know, think the total opposite. It's kind of becoming a club, like a Ramsey club, a Ramsey fan club. And he had one really, really negative review about the house of Celine recently. You can go check it out if you want. And somebody had written in a comment that, you know, it's really obvious that you had made up your mind about these fragrances before you even sniffed the first sample. And he had also kind of made up a story about, you know, how the logo, it was like two C's, but turned away from each other like this. And there was an hourglass in between or something like that. And then how it was kind of like a ripoff of the Chanel logo where the C's are, you know, connected, but pretty similar. And this person who wrote in, you know, knew the background story for this. And the thing in the middle was this, you know, L'Arc de Triomphe special, you know, site in Paris. And there was a story behind it, and she knew the story. And he wouldn't say, you know, oh, I was wrong about this. He just said his answer to her was, oh, and then also that he was so obviously so biased. And his answer to her or him was, thank you for watching. Wear whatever you want. And that was it. Nothing like, you know, he was taking feedback or anything like that. And this happened to me now, except that my comment was completely removed from his feed of comments. Okay, so I wrote, this was a video. I think it's his latest video, his last video, so you can catch it if you want. It was an unboxing, and it was also a review of something else. But it was an unboxing video of fragrance from Centauri, which is a British house. And he had received a bottle of Elixir. It's a fragrance I haven't tried, but that's beside the point. He had been given this bottle for free from Peter Carter, the founder. And he made a big thing of it, both in writing and said, you know, this was so generously sent to me. He very kindly gifted me this, blah, blah, blah. And this was exactly the thing that he was so negative that other people were doing. And now he is accepting free bottles. And now he's talking about how generous and kind it is. And I mean, I understand that it is kind of an artisan company, a little bit more artsy. He does everything himself. You know, the perfumes from Centauri are made and they're handmade. They make them in small batches. And, you know, this Peter Carter probably puts his soul into these bottles. And maybe you could argue that it's different than, you know, when Creed that has been bought up by a big, you know, venture capital or, you know, private equity company. It's different, you know, but of course, Ramsey is chosen by Peter Carter as a part of his marketing plan because Ramsey is a really good spokesperson for his products, right? Especially since Ramsey now has over 4,000, I think it's 4,500 plus followers, and they all agree with Ramsey. So whatever Ramsey says, they go out and buy pretty much. This is my impression. Of course, I don't know this for sure. And he's gotten free bottles from Russian Adam, who has, you know, Arige Ladurée, and I think he's gotten free bottles from Enzar Oud. And okay, so what I said in my comment was this: I don't see you being sent a bottle as, you know, generous and kind. It's marketing, and of course, you know, they're sending you this bottle for a special reason. And I have a hard time seeing you, you know, trash this fragrance if you were to hate it. But I can see how you enjoy, you know, trashing a fragrance from Unique Luxury from Turkey, for example. Go catch that video if you want to see someone who really trashes an entire brand. And he's done the same with Juice Box. He's done the same with Fragrance du Bois, with a bunch of different sort of mainstream niche perfume houses. And anyway, the next morning, I just noticed that my comment had been removed, or it wasn't there. So I asked him. I said, "Does it happen that you remove comments? Because I can't find mine from last night, and I was really curious to see what you had to say, your opinions on what I wrote." And then his answer, you can go read it if you want, because that's still there, I think. He says, I only do if what the person is writing is, and then there was this little poop symbol, like an emoji, and sometimes I let it stand there so that the moron who wrote it can feel the shame or something like that. So indirectly, he's saying that what I wrote was shite and, you know, not worth answering. It's not the kind of thing he wants in his feed. And I think he probably feels embarrassed for Peter Carter, because Peter Carter sent him this fragrance, which is, you know, worth at least, what are their fragrances? Pretty expensive. Like for 30 mil, I think they're like almost $1,000. If I were, no, wait a minute. No, I'm mixing this up with another house. No. These weren't that expensive, but not cheap either. Now I can't remember the price. But anyway, I had made a review of one of the Centauri fragrances called Gaea, and I know one of you loved this fragrance, and I had said some pretty terrible things about it. I mean, I hadn't said that the whole house was terrible. I just said that this fragrance smells like stepping into a damp cave. It smells like soil. It smells a little bit like mold. It smells cold. It reminds me of Snowy Owl from Zoologist, which I also don't like. I mean, I wasn't saying like terrible things from the house, that like as terrible as Ramsey says about Celine, or what he says about Unique Luxury, for example. But it was a negative review for sure. And I just cannot see Ramsey putting out a negative review now when he's made a big thing about how generous and kind it was for Peter Carter to send him this stuff, or this bottle. I think maybe actually he bought a bottle and then he sent him one free or something, but it's still a free bottle. Anyway, anyway, this kind of, for me, this is just, he's a hypocrite, because he's doing the same thing that he's so negative what others are doing. He seems to think it's okay when it's him, because all his opinions are his own. But I can't really see the difference, honestly. You know, it's just because it's Ensar Oud or Arige Ladurée or Centauri, why is it not marketing? It's not generosity. It's not like Ramsey is his new friend, right? And Ramsey is not like a fragrance, his channel is not like a museum. He's not like an expert or anything like that. So of course it's part of his marketing plan. I don't think Ramsey wants to be a part of the marketing plan, and that's why he removed my comment. Anyway, so I don't think I will be commenting anymore on Ramsey's channel, but I will watch, because I do like, I'll try to separate, you know, this part of him. And I guess he's going through divorce right now. I shouldn't be so hard on him. Maybe he's just like, can't take negativity right now, or something like that. But I still appreciate his channel. And I mean, he did like accept all the samples from Zoologist, from the founder himself. Is his name Victor Wong? I think Victor Wong. And he said only 2 are full bottle worthy. And I mean, that's pretty negative. I think that's pretty negative. He didn't say that all of them were bad, but some of them were like too close to other things that he has. So, I mean, and then I know that we were kind of discussing this in my Swedish Facebook group, and someone was defending Ramsey and said that he often says that Ensar Oud is not worth the money. So, I mean, maybe he is being totally honest. I'm just waiting for that Centauri review. I just don't think he should call things that he sent for free, you know, that they were very kindly, or, you know, sent. Because it's just marketing, and it's nothing really it has nothing to do with kindness or generosity. It's marketing expenditure, I would say. Okay, so that was that. Yeah, and I think that the same thing, you know, he just doesn't appreciate feedback. For example, he says eau de toilette, he says, but it's called eau de toilette in French. And I'm speaking English, but even in English you say eau de toilette. And someone had commented that, and his answer to that was, I say whatever I want on my channel. And of course he does, you know, but why would you not want to learn how to say things correctly? I'm just happy when you guys comment. Sometimes I got upset, you know, back in the day when I just started, people commented on my empty dishwasher, and there's a real dried out plant I see in the back there. I haven't picked the leaves, and maybe I'll just throw it out, but I'm not going to apologize for this, but like I do appreciate the feedback. And then some things I will maybe try to improve, and others not, but I don't ignore them. I would never, like, just because someone comments on my, you know, the way I pronounce anise, or I say anise and not anise, or the other way around, I would never remove a comment like that, or say something kind of passive aggressive, like I say whatever I want. I don't know. I just think that was really not a nice way to handle feedback. So he wants his own fan club there, and I guess it's up to each reviewer what they want to do. This just goes against everything that I stand for. I'm not going to ever accept any free bottles, period. Samples, I think, is okay because how would I otherwise be able to get my nose on some stuff? But like beautiful sample sets, I still feel like I'm thinking that doesn't seem right to me. I don't think anyone will send me free samples. Maybe I should put my address so people will start sending me things. But it seems like I always have things coming in. I always have things to discuss and to share with you. Oh, I did want to do one more update on Le Baiser des Dragons from Cartier, which I really am enjoying, my last few drops here. And I'm not going to hunt down a bottle, but I think this is a recent formulation because I kind of found out where this one... No, I know someone that has the recent formulation, so I could get a squirt from there and compare them. I might do that. But this is a little bit of an older formula, and I really have been enjoying it. It's such an easy reach. And it's a little bit like earthy, patchouli, nutty-ish. It has a little vetiver. It has a little bit of liqueur with that, you know, like almond type of liqueur. It's really, really an easy wear. I really like this, yet it's not uninteresting like L'Après Landais. Or it's not called L'Après, it's called Après Landais, after the rain. This is just, for me, just a waste of time. It's just too beautiful. I'll give that to somebody. I'm just not thrilled with it. So, yeah, I'm really curious to hear what you have to say about this thing with marketing. Where does the limit go? You know, when is it marketing and when is it a gift? Is it ever a gift when a company gives a YouTuber a bottle? Is it ever kind and generous, or is it marketing expenditure? What's your opinion on this issue? Because mine is very clear that a company that gives a YouTuber a bottle of free perfume, then it's marketing, period, according to my opinion. Anyway, that was all for today, guys.